Delaware County Commissioner meeting is back in session, and for the February 22nd, 2024, and our next order of business is Big Farm Section 2, Part 2 Drainage Improvement Petition. I'm Gary Merrill. I'm the board chair this year. To my right is fellow Commissioner and Vice Chair Barb Lewis, and to my left is fellow Commissioner Jeff Benton. I'm going to just kind of go over the ground rules that we're going to follow today. Again, welcome to everyone that's here today, and for the watershed petition that I've already identified. There's a sign-in sheet circulating in the room, and we ask that you please sign the sheet to indicate your attendance. Today's viewing of the proposed improvement area is taking place here at the office of the Board of County Commissioners, and we're going to use video technology, which, as I indicated in the earlier viewing, it really allows us as commissioners to get a better view than the old-fashioned way of walking out, trudging through the fields, and it's worked out really well. And video will be available to gain an overview of the project limits and specific areas, and Brett Bacon will walk us through that. There's no testimony today, or decisions are going to be made today. It is simply a way for the board to become familiar with the area, so we're in a better position to evaluate when we have the first hearing. And the first hearing of the petition is scheduled for Monday, May 13th, 2024 at 10 o'clock in the morning. And at the hearing, we will hear a report from the engineer's office on the petition. And that is also the time for landowner testimony at that meeting. Today is an opportunity for landowners to point out any drainage concerns or things that they think we should make note of to put us in best position for that first hearing. But again, no testimony, it's just a matter of certain things you might want us to be aware of. I'm now turning the proceeding over to Brett Bacon with the Soil and Water Conservation District.
Thank you, Commissioner Merrill. Brett Bacon, Deputy Administrator, Delaware Soil and Water Conservation District. I'm going to play the video, and then I'm going to give you a brief narrative of what I know and understand of the situation as it exists today for this project. The video is going to start at the pond where you see the number 14 on your map. And then it's going to follow the existing swale, which is going to be pretty obvious and evident as it goes up to the south towards Seldom Seen Road, stopping at the right-of-way at Seldom Seen Road. So we'll play the video first. You can see right behind the power pole there. It's a little bit hard to see. There's a catch basin. There's kind of a pool of water. In that or under that pool of water is a catch basin, and that's where we'll start the narrative here. So the stormwater system for Big Bear Farms. Oh, do you want me to take it off? I'm just going to reference on the map here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
The stormwater system for Big Bear Farms 2-2 is on the drainage maintenance program, was actually one of the first subdivisions that we placed on drainage maintenance back in 1998. The original design for that system all funnels through the L-shaped pond that you see on parcel number 8. And then the outlet for that pond goes under Seldom Seen Road to the north and turns and heads towards that catch basin that I referenced was underwater. The original engineering design called for the flood routing or the high flow storm event to travel down the path of the open channel that the drone flight was over, and the trickle flow, kind of just that normal everyday output from the pond, was designed to go into an existing subsurface drain tile that's referenced on the engineering plans. If you look on your map just to the east or the right of the black and white line, you see an old county main labeled the Clement number 270. It's my belief that was the tile that was referenced on the plan. That tile is no longer functional for reasons unknown at this point. So what we are experiencing right now is instead of the trickle flow going through that subsurface drain tile to a good and sufficient outlet, it's just bleeding out onto the surface of the ground and is creating a saturated, the cattail kind of messy situation that we see today. I think the intent of the project would be to try and capture that trickle flow, redirect it, not obviously into the tile that's no longer working, but to the pond on the Gulf Village property that's under the number 14 there, and then construct or reconstruct the surface drain to the cross-section and grade that's existing on the plans for Gulf Village.
When did you take this?
This video was done at the same time as the Wards video, early January.
Okay.
Any other questions from the commissioners for Brett?
Yeah, I mean, it looked pretty straightforward. I mean, it's not a long ditch by any means,
No.
Yeah.
it's short. Okay.
Okay, with that, I will, we will give the opportunity for anyone that's here to indicate anything they want us to be aware of. Again, no testimony today, just commissioners, I'd like you to be aware of this, or be aware of that as you prepare for the first hearing. So is there anyone who has anything they want to make the commissioners aware of today? I see, I think it's an interest. Come forward and just introduce yourself and share with us what you think we need to know.
I'm Jeff Vogel. I live in Big Bear Farms, part of the watershed of this thing. We were just talking earlier, I don't know, they said, I've seen times when that, on the north side of Seldom Seen, the whole ditch from Sawmill, if we get a heavy rain, is full, including the pond. There's a pond at the corner of north side of Seldom Seen and Sawmill, and that gets full and it backs up all the way down that ditch. This Clement 270, the orange line on here, if I understood you correctly, that was originally supposed to be the main drain from the excess water. And that goes, now, does that drain northeast? And that's no longer active, plugged, or whatever. It's old, you don't know, it's just not.
Clearly not working.
So I guess there's more to this than just the south side of Seldom Seen, Big Bear Farms neighborhood. It looks like, I mean, like I say, I live there in lot number 19 off of Ryland Court, and I would walk my dog down the power lines across Seldom Seen quite frequently, and it was always soggy over there. And it, clearly the catch basin goes under Seldom Seen, and it's supposed to drain through that ditch. That's the black and white dotted line that you reference to that pond, but it's not getting there. I mean, there's no slope for the water to run to. Either when they built the neighborhood, because Big Bear Farms was there initially, and then they built the neighborhood across on the north side of Seldom Seen. I don't know the engineer or whoever designed that didn't really do anything to cause the water to drain to this number 14 pond. It looks to me, I don't know, it never had a chance to, and it's always been soft since I moved there in 2020 or 2000. And it's always been soft when we get a lot of rain over there. So it has never really drained to that settling pond number 14 since I've been there in 2000. So it's more than just the south side of Big Bear Farms. Obviously, I'm a resident of Big Bear Farms, and when I read this notice and it says, if this thing gets approved, all the costs will be divvied up between the residents of Big Bear Farms, and I mean, I'm all for getting stuff fixed, but you know, there's more people involved than just the people in Big Bear Farms.
Okay. Brad, I'll have you come up and comment on that. I think the question, if I can, the observation, I won't call it a question. The observation is, who in the watershed is going to be responsible for this correction?
Yes. All the properties that have benefit or use of an improvement are required by state law to be assessed for the construction and maintenance of the improvement. So a project, as has been requested, would be the properties within Big Bear Farms, including the HOA, and the parcel number 14, which is owned by the Gulf Village HOA. You know, there may be other things that went on in the watershed that have contributed to the degradation of this drainage system. However, the goal of the petition process, or the aim of the petition process, is to find a solution. There is no punitive function of that. So we've been presented with a request to improve the drainage, or to look at improving the drainage in this area. We will come up with a engineering plan that proposes that, or would do that if the board chooses to move forward. And the properties that would have use of that proposed improvement would be the ones that would share in the cost of that.
So I think to his question, if I can interpret what I think you were asking, if the people there to the west are contributing to the issue, they, as it's currently set, they would be responsible for any assistance. Is that accurate?
Correct. If they're not draining into the project, they would not. And I will add in, you can just see on the east side of the map, there's some condos. I'm not going to say that the tile was broken during construction of those condos, but when you look back through the aerial photo history, it was about the time that the condo development started going in that you started to see the degradation in that surface drain. So if you want to connect the dots on your own, you can. But again, that would be, there's no punitive function to the petition process. If a landowner in that case would want to take issue with that and seek damages, then their recourse is civil litigation. There's not something we can force action on through the petition
Our
process.
job is to correct the problem.
Correct. Yep, correct the problem. That's very well put.
Okay. Thank you. Any other comments from Brad?
No.
Does anyone else have any observations they would like to make that we would need to be aware of before the first hearing? I think you raise your hand, at least halfway.
I'm sorry. My name is Cecil Johns. What else you want to know of me?
Well, I don't know that I need to know a lot today, but just
Okay.
out of curiosity, do you know your lot number? So,
My
if-
what?
the-
No, I
I don't think we need that for the purpose
no,
of
I live
today.
off of Mead Court in Big Bear Farms.
Okay, just,
But I do a lot of things for the HOA there.
are you a property owner?
I'm
Are
sorry.
you a property owner in the Big Bear?
Yes, I am.
Okay,
Yes, I am. The condos, that land where the drainage ditch is, goes right into, most of it goes right into these two ponds.
okay.
That's all I was going to say. Because I was asked by the board a year and a half ago, because there's some of the residents was complaining they were losing land because of the level of the ponds are coming up, to look into it. And so I contacted their department and kind of spearheaded this project a little bit. But all I wanted to say was that the drainage from those condos, it's all downhill to the pond there.
You're talking about
Okay.
pond number 14?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, well, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
You're talking about the condos on the north side, Sullivan Street, not the ones on the south side?
East side.
I assume he's talking about southeast.
Yeah, southeast.
These right here, east side, which is south of Sullivan.
That's the ones I assumed you were
Right.
talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else who has anything they would like for us to know? You look very familiar to the guy who was up here a while ago.
Yeah, well, so if these condos on the south east side, south of, side of Seldom Seen, and are on the east side of Big Bear Farms, are draining into the ponds, Big Bear Farms, then why aren't they sharing in the cost to fix this?
That may be getting into testimony, but I'm just curious, that's a good question, and we'll get an answer.
I don't have any engineering information that would suggest that condo development drains into. We'll certainly take a look at it. And if, in the course of our engineering design, we decide that the watershed needs to be expanded, then we would expand that prior to the final hearing.
And they would then be included.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if the problem is on the north side of Seldom Seen, because the property is not properly draining into Pond 14, then how is, and this tile Clement 270 is broken or not functioning, you don't think, how are they not part of the cost to fix this as well?
Well, I think you just heard Brett. Go ahead, Brett, I'll let you do. You'll say it better than I will.
So if we're referring to the properties that are in Gulf Village, their storm system does not enter that pond. It enters well north of that pond. So those properties would not benefit by the improvement that's been requested. The properties that would be downstream or to the north on the existing tile would have no use. Their drainage does not enter the improvement, therefore they would have no benefit of the improvement. They may have, in some way, be contributing to the cost or cause or degradation of the tile, but again, that is punitive, and that is not a function of 6131. 6131 is to find a solution, and the properties that drain through that solution are who the state law directs us to assess.
And I know you don't believe that they drain into that pond, but if during your preparation you found that not be the case, then that would change.
Yes, that's correct. However, the properties in Gulf Village, I am confident, I've looked at the engineering plans for that subdivision as part of preparation for this petition, and their stormwater system all goes out to the street and runs to the north. It does not go into that pond.
Does that help?
It does, but if I see the ditch that runs east-west along the north side of Seldom Seen backed up all the way to Big Bear Farms, then does that not also contribute to this problem? Because the connection line that goes under Seldom Seen that connects, the ponds on the south side of Seldom Seen to the north side that's supposed to drain into 14, does that also not?
I'm going to state I think we're getting dangerously close to testimony
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
And these are, we haven't even begun to develop the first hearing report for this project yet. I will state generally that road ditch drainage can jump watershed. I don't know if that's what's going on. I've never been made aware of water backing up all the way from Sawmill Road. So this is something new to me, and I'm not prepared to even answer a question about it.
But these are things you will look into.
Sure.
Okay, thank you. Is there any other observations that need to be made today? If not, and I see no hands, the hearing Monday, May 13, 2024, 10 o'clock, and that's where you will be able to give testimony. That's where we'll hear the first report, and that will clarify a lot of the things I think you're concerned about or worried, not worried, but well, worry is a good word as any, so I'll use that word. And so I conclude this viewing, and again, I will look forward to seeing you on Monday, May 13th at 10 o'clock. Thank you.
Okay, and then we have another item for executive session, resolution number 24-146, in the matter of adjourning into executive session for consideration of appointment, compensation of a public employee or public official, and for collective bargaining.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and second, discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 24-146. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.